Law and Justice has 194 seats, the Civic Coalition 157, Third Way 65, the Left 26, and Confederation 18. The first session of the newly elected Sejm is opened by the senior marshal or the oldest politician elected to the lower house. The marshal or speaker of the Sejm is then elected by an absolute majority of votes cast in the presence of at least half the statutory number of deputies. Only after his election and within 14 days of the first meeting or acceptance of the resignation of the previous Council of Ministers, the President appoints a Prime Minister and the government. The new Prime Minister must obtain a vote of confidence by an absolute majority. If this fails, the Constitution provides for further steps. The President is the last redoubt in the defence of Poland's independence, and I have reason to believe that Poland's independence and sovereignty are at risk if the opposition take over government positions, especially at a time of cooperation between Berlin and the European Union. Even before the elections, President Andrzej Duda announced that he would entrust the task of forming a government to the winning party. However, in order to achieve the required majority, Law and Justice will need to win an additional 37 seats, which it is likely to seek from Confederation and PSL MPs. There are several weeks of intense political action ahead. As a first step, everything is in the hands of the President and, contrary to the voices that appear in the media, the President will exercise his constitutional powers with a view to constitutional tradition and the good of Poland. It is possible that Law and Justice will stay in power. We can point to common programme elements when it comes to law and justice and parts of some opposition formations. If the Council of Ministers is not appointed or the government fails to win a vote of confidence, the Prime Minister is elected by the Sejm. This requires an absolute majority of votes. In this scenario, a new government must be formed by the 26th of December at the latest. However, it may be difficult to form a government with a divided opposition. If a government cannot be formed at this stage, the initiative will revert to the President, who will nominate a candidate for Prime Minister. In this case, a simple majority is required, with at least half the MPs present. 116 seats may be sufficient to form a government. The Polish parties are divided. The Civic platform is made up of several parties, so is the Third Way and the Left. These are the things which make this group highly conflicted ideologically, and their electorates are on opposite sides. Much depends on which side the Third Way MPs take. Before the elections, they announced that they would enter the Sejm as two separate clubs, but recent statements by their leaders show that they are now wavering. There will be 34 Law and Justice senators in the Senate. From the Civic Coalition, 41, from the Third Way, 11, 9 from the New Left and 5 independent candidates qualified. In total, 66 senators from the Senate Pact will sit in the Senate. The Senate Pact was formed against Law and Justice. Opposition candidates campaigned very hard. The senatorial candidates were very active in their districts, and the senatorial pact won. If a government cannot be elected in one of the three steps provided for in the Constitution, the President of the Republic of Poland will shorten the term of the Sejm and call new parliamentary elections.